I'm here with Rachelle Van Ryssen. Thank you so much for being at the studio today,
Thanks
dropping by. She is a Christian keynote speaker. She's a humorist, not to be confused with a comedian, and she is an author. So we're so happy that you're here today.
I'm so happy to be here.
So can you tell me, what is the difference between a humorist and a comedian?
Well, let me see. A comedian will stand up and tell one-liners, jokes, one after another.
Yes.
A humorist often has a serious message, or at least I do, and it's peppered with funny moments or just a little humor to get you through the tough moments in it.
Right.
I think I'm a humorist in life.
Yes.
So it's just carried over into what I do. I tend to look at the lighter side of things naturally. So
have you always looked at the lighter side of things?
I have. So the fact that serious things actually do happen
Absolutely.
was almost shocking to me.
Yeah.
But you know, as we get older, we find out that life isn't a smooth ride. But
so, Rachelle, tell me, when did you learn to laugh?
Rumor has it I came out laughing. I've been laughing my whole life.
Has your mother been laughing though? That's the question.
My mother will probably be laughing at that. Both of my parents are funny. They're funny people. My grandparents were funny people. So you have to laugh at most situations. I mean, I could go through life feeling sorry for myself, or I can smile and just, you know, kind of grin and bear it sometimes. But the Lord has been so strong in my life since childhood that I can't help but shine that through. Like it's one of the things that I ask in prayer at night is that the next day that I'm a vessel and that the Lord will shine through me. And in me, and I don't expect him to do it in every person, but in me, he's chosen to do that through humor in many ways. Also noting that humor can get me in trouble.
Yes, it's good that you're aware of that.
So I have to realize that whatever God gives you as a gift,
yes,
the devil will use against you. So for me, my gift has been speaking. So he works on getting me to say the wrong thing. The devil works on getting me to say the wrong thing. And laughter, so I can have, you know, thoughts that I shouldn't have. I'm not perfect, and
Nobody
just because
is,
I go around
God.
and I go from one church to the next, I don't look at anyone and say, base your life on me, be more like Rachelle. It's all about Jesus.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm trying, and I'm not perfect by any stretch, and I just try to be the best representative of him that I can be.
Absolutely. Now, I have a question for you. They're thinking, maybe there's a viewer out there watching, Rachelle, you have absolutely no idea what I'm dealing with. I cannot laugh at my situation. What do you say to somebody that's just, there's no joy in my life right now, there's no joy in the situation? What do you say to somebody?
And you know, and there's obviously situations where there is no joy in it, and you have to go through the mourning. And you can't come out on the other side until you've been through it. And going through some things is just difficult and hard, and there's nothing funny about it. But eventually, if you go through it holding Christ's hand and you ask Jesus to help you through these things, you'll get through and you'll see that it's so temporary. And if you have somewhere to go when the whole show is done, you know, and that's what life is. It's just, you know what, people always say life is not a dress rehearsal. Well, it is. You know, we're here, we get to practice, we get to do all we need to do. And then and God will train us up so that we can go and be with him. You know, and he will take us through the hard times, he'll take us through the tough acts, and he'll get us there.
And most times, during those seasons of life, we look back and we can just see, you know, it wasn't as bad maybe as
and at the time they look like these heavy rocks that we have to carry. And I remember one time the Lord giving me literally a visual, and it was just quick, you know, nothing, not a huge prophecy or anything, but of carrying stones. And he said, lay it down. So I laid it down, and I kept on walking, but I still had more stones. So I'm reaching into my little bag of rocks, and I'm carrying these stones, and I'd lay it down, and I'd lay it down. And finally, I'm thinking, why is he having me put all these stones behind me? No, this path is pretty rocky. You know, I could use a path in front of me. And he's like, I'll take care of the path in front of you. You lay down the stones to help someone else along. And I was creating paths with my difficulties. And every person out there, you don't have to be a speaker or a writer. People watch us. Everyone's a people watcher.
And they're learning from us.
And they're learning from us in every single little thing that we do.
Yeah.
And
how much lighter was that load when you let go of the rocks? You feel
no rocks.
Exactly.
It's
you
great.
could soar and
it's
fly.
Great. You know, it's I've said to people before, we have a lot of, you know, this isn't eloquent but we all have garbage in our life, and when you have garbage in your house and it starts to smell, at least that's how long I leave it. You take it out to the curb, or you have your husband do that, and when it's out there, you don't come back into the house and then think to yourself, you know, I really miss that garbage.
Right.
I'm going to go get it and drag it back into the house. You leave it there, and that's what we have to learn through Christ, is that He gives us the ability to let go and give it to Him.
Yeah.
And He doesn't want us to take it back. He'll get rid of it for us.
Absolutely.
You know, and I find that that's always been one of my vices, is that I want to take it back. You know, Jesus, take the wheel for a minute, and then I'm just going to reach over. You don't mind if I drive?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Now, when did you accept, or when did you encounter Jesus in your life?
You know, it's funny because I'm one of those people who've just, you know, you grow up and God is part of the family, but you have to have that moment, you know, where you're. It's not just a story that you're being told.
Right.
It's an actual. You know what? God is bigger than a truck, and if you got hit by a truck, you'd know it.
Absolutely.
Right? You wouldn't just get up and brush yourself off, and yet so many people are hit by God, or you know, they have that big meeting in their life, and then they get up and go on like nothing happened. You have to take that moment. It might be just small, and realize that, you know, because some of us He whispers, some of us He hits with the truck. But I remember being a little girl, running around my house with, I had bows and arrows made out of sticks, and because, I mean, we didn't have video games.
Okay.
So we were our own video games. And my sister and some friends, and I ran and hid under a forsythia tree, and it was this huge yellow bush. And there was a part of it that was kind of carved out inside, and I went in and hid, and it was my big cave. And I remember looking up at the sky, and it just suddenly, everything just slowed right down. And this is kind of weird. And I remember kind of not praying, but talking to God, because you're little, you don't really stop and pray. And I said, I want this moment to stop. I want everything to end. I like everything to be in this moment. I wanted this to last forever. And I remember looking around, and the sky was so crisp blue, and the trees were so beautiful and green. And I remember looking at the grass, and suddenly the grass wasn't just green grass. It was blades of grass with 3 or 4 different colors in each one. And it was such a crisp, vivid moment that I just realized that if God put that much energy into a blade of grass, how much more does He love me? And I had this overwhelming sense of love, and I realized, wow, you know, He knows that little Rachelle is running around this yard, and He cares.
Absolutely.
You know?
And He's had a plan for you ever since.
And He's had this
humorous.
Huge plan for me. And
you're an author, and
I'm a mom.
And you're a mom and a wife.
And a wife and a friend, you know.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
But when we come back, for those of you who don't know anything about Rachelle, she was diagnosed with MS, which is multiple sclerosis, in 2000. So we're going to hear a little bit about her experience.